Okay, friends, all for art and art for all. Let's do a cute little bunny today. Let's get our bunny to fit in here. So I'm going to start with my ears and make sure my ears fit. So I'm going to go up and over towards the top, down and out, and back in. This side of the ear, I can see the inside, so I'm going to draw a line around the inside. And my head is going to come out a little, almost flat, and then curl down. So out and down. And then a little triangle of a nose. And it's going to come in, over, up a tiny bit. In, over, up a tiny bit. And then the bottom jaw has to be behind here. And it's also going to come in a little and down, and then back up. And then my bunny is going to have the back of his head over here. The bunny's going to have a long ear going this way. So I'll start up here a little, go out and over, down and out, and back in. And that ear, I won't see this part because it's facing the other way. So let's give the bunny an eye. So a little arc that way. And then make the rest of it like a circle. So it's a circle that's kind of flat in the front. And I'm going to draw in, but leave some white. Maybe I give my bunny a couple of whiskers. Not too many. Maybe one more out there. And my bunny belly is kind of curled up that way. And then we'll curl out for a foot that goes down. So over and down. And then just a little bit over and down. We'll curl that in, over, down, over. And there's one of my paws. My other paw is going to be down here. So I'm going to go the bottom of the paw that way, up and over. The next toe, the bottom of it, up and over. The next toe, bottom of it, up and over. And then this line from the top, the farthest toe, is going to come over, lined up right about there. Don't go too far past your ears. And come forward a little bit of an arc. And the rest of my foot comes down flat on the ground, out at an angle, and back in. And my next foot, I'm going to do the same thing. Make the flat bottom, up and over. Next toe, flat bottom, up and over. Flat bottom, up and over. And then my foot is going to keep going up, over, and back. Let's see if we can fix that. So flat foot that goes back, and then it's going to go up a little, and a little bump for a tail. Now my foot is going to be thin like that guy, so there's going to be a line that comes here, and it's not going to go past this little place where I change directions. And my other leg is tucked right under, it's bent. So I'm going to start a little forward and go in that direction. Now my bunny back is curled down, so I'm going to go up at an angle, not too far past my my knee here. And then I'm going to go over to my head, and I'm going to air draw through. My head would come out right there. And that line's going to connect. So I'm going to come down and over. So just a little bump down and then head over there. And that's my cute little bunny. Give my bunny some ground to sit on. So I'm going to do a line all the way across, but the bunny's in front of it. So I'm going to start below my whiskers, or it might look funny to have too many lines. You could also do a line up here if you wanted. But I'm going to put a line between my whiskers and my feet. I'm going to come straight across and then air draw and start again when I hit there. So there's the drawing of the bunny. And I have water on the side here. And when I use my water, I'm going to touch the side to get the extra drops off. But since I'm using watercolor, I want to make sure that I have lots of water in my colors. So I'm going to pick up water with my bristle, and I'm just dropping 4, maybe 5 drops at least in all the colors I'm going to use. And I want my bunny to have a mix of colors. I'm careful not to drip over my painting. So I don't know if you see the direction my brush is going. And if it's too drippy, I touch the side. So I might have to go several times, like I said, to get at least 4 or 5. Well, there goes my poor doggy barking. Or sorry, coughing, poor baby. Poodles sometimes do that. Poodles have a very narrow trachea, which is the thing that you breathe through. And so they cough a lot sometimes if it gets narrow. Okay, so all my colors are wet. Start with my lightest color and just stir it up a tiny bit. I'm just stroking the top. I'm going to rinse my brush. Stroke the top. I haven't decided on my colors yet. I did this bunny before. You can do whatever colors you want. I kind of like the idea of a purple bunny. I didn't want to do just a boring brown bunny. But maybe I can do some brown with some blues and reds in it. That might sound weird, but be surprisingly cool. So again, I'm just getting these wet. And maybe I'll add some water to my brown, carefully carrying my water over the paint tray so I don't drip. And I'm just kind of stirring it. I'm definitely not going to use black. Black kind of sucks away your attention. So one of the things I like to do is get my painting wet with water. So I'm just going to do my bunny. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but I am getting my paper wet so that my color spreads. And this paper soaks it up the first time. So let's go in, and my brush is heavy with water. This is going to wrinkle the paper a bit. You can spread it back out later. There are papers that are much thicker and even have cotton in them. So there we go, lots of water. I'm going to add my blue around my dark places. So I'd have like maybe a shadow here. And see how that water spreads. If your color isn't spreading, you don't have enough water. So here's some places where it might be a little darker. Maybe the head, just the front of the head. So again, if your water's not spreading, if your paint colors aren't spreading, it's not dark enough, or sorry, not wet enough. I'm going to do a dark ear over there, and just a little dark on this guy. A little dark on the back. Now I'm going to come in with that brown and just kind of touch it and then paint it through. That's a lot of brown, so I am really going to try and spread that out. Spread that brown out. And then my eye, I really wanted to keep that wet or white. So maybe I have time to get in and blot out the color. Just soak it up a little. It's a little better. Do a little brown on my ear. Wow, the brown comes out so dark. I don't usually paint with a lot of brown. So let me put, I'm going to blot some of that out. Just soak it up. Do some brown in here where the bunny would have some darker colors. Okay. And then maybe I'll do some sunset kind of colors. I'm going to start down below and work up. Down below, grab some of the color over here. Grab some of this color, working both sides. And spread it on up. Spread it on up. Spread it on up. Going sideways a little. Get in here. Hug the edge of my bunny. Try not to get too close to my bunny because I don't want to smear my brown in, but if it does that, that's okay. Using a lot of water. Your paint should be spreading out nice. And then maybe I want some orange coming from the top. So just go along the top, both sides. And maybe a little bit more. If I go across one way, I want to carry that over behind the bunny. So keep that orange going. And I'm choosing a nice direction, like the sky would be. And, you know, purple and orange, actually, purple and yellow look really good together. So I'm going to come in case it's really dark like that. I'm going to start the dark at the bottom. And then work that purple up this way. My paper will be nice and wet. Get it wet. Then I can go in with a bit more purple and maybe let that purple bleed. Bleed is a fancy way of saying kind of run up. That came out kind of dark, so here we go. Let that color bleed upward. I don't necessarily want like a solid color. I wanted there to be lights and darks in my painting. And maybe the tiniest bit of pink. And I'm going to roll that off. Make that just a real watery pink right there in the ear. And there is our little bunny. All for art and art for all. A 14-minute bunny.